Gentlemen, stop ignoring this. Stop thinking blood vessels only get stiff because you are getting older. That is not the full story. And if you believe that, you may be missing one of the simplest natural tools for circulation support sitting in your kitchen right now. Comment seed below if you want better blood flow, better endurance, better response. Because today Dr. Clara Vance is going to show you the tiny seed most men overlook and why it may help support one of the most important mechanisms in your entire body. This seed is small, ordinary, cheap, easy to find. Nothing about it looks powerful, but hidden inside it are compounds that researchers have studied for their effects on nitric oxide, endothelial function, vascular flexibility, oxidative stress, and blood flow efficiency. And when those systems start slipping, you feel it everywhere. Less drive, less stamina, less sharpness, slower recovery, less confidence in how your body responds. That is the part most men notice first. Not a lab result, not a scan, a feeling. You do not feel as quick. You do not feel as strong. You do not feel as stable. Your body does not respond with the same ease it used to. You may blame age, stress, sleep, testosterone, and yes, those matter. But there is another hidden layer almost nobody talks about enough. Your blood vessels. Because every system that makes you feel alive depends on delivery, oxygen delivery, nutrient delivery, signal delivery, waste removal. If blood flow is compromised, performance is compromised. It is that simple. Not just in one part of the body, everywhere. Brain, heart, muscles, recovery, energy, stamina, response. And one of the most important molecules in that whole process is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the signal that tells blood vessels to relax, to open, to stay flexible, to allow smoother circulation. When nitric oxide production drops, or when oxidative stress destroys it too quickly, blood vessels become less responsive, less elastic, less efficient. Then you feel the slowdown. Now here is where most people make the mistake. They chase stimulation, quick hits, temporary surges, cheap solutions. But stimulation is not the same as vascular support. A temporary jolt is not the same as improved endothelial function. Feeling something for 20 minutes is not the same as improving the biology that helps your body perform properly in the first place. That is why this conversation matters. Because the tiny seed I want to start with is flaxseed, and if I could only recommend one seed as a foundational part of a vascular support routine, flaxseed would be at the top of the list. Not because it is trendy, not because it is exotic, but because the mechanism behind it is unusually broad and the research around it is strong enough to make people in cardiovascular science pay attention. Flaxseed is one of the richest plant sources of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. That is a plant omega-3 fat. And while some people only focus on fish oil, ALA has its own value. Your body can convert part of it into longer-chain omega-3 forms, but even before that happens, ALA appears to support vascular function directly. It has been studied for its role in reducing inflammatory pressure on endothelial cells, the cells lining your blood vessels, which matters because healthy endothelial cells are central to nitric oxide signaling. But flaxseed does not stop there. This is where it gets more interesting. Flaxseed is also loaded with lignans, not just a little, a lot, far more than most commonly eaten plant foods. These lignans are turned by gut bacteria into active compounds that researchers have associated with better cardiovascular markers, better oxidative balance, and more favorable vascular conditions. So now you have two key things happening at once. On one side, support for endothelial stability and nitric oxide signaling. On the other, support against the oxidative stress and inflammatory disruption that can interfere with blood vessel function. That is not one pathway. That is multiple pathways converging at the vascular level. And that is exactly what most old solutions miss. Old solutions usually do one thing, one herb, one stimulant, one temporary effect, one incomplete mechanism, but the body does not operate through one switch. Vascular performance depends on signaling, protection, elasticity, mineral balance, smooth muscle response, antioxidant defense, and cellular energy. Support only one layer, and you may feel very little. Support several layers together, and the entire picture changes. That is why I call this the vessel opening sequence. Not a buzzword, a strategy. A multi-step nutritional approach that helps support nitric oxide production, protect it from breakdown, reduce endothelial stress, and improve the environment in which blood vessels can stay open, responsive, and efficient. Long flaxseed is the first trigger in that sequence. There is also something very practical you need to know. Whole flax seeds are not enough. If you swallow them whole, many pass through almost intact. That tough outer shell protects the compounds inside from your own digestion. So, if you want the real benefit, you need ground flaxseed. Freshly ground is best. Pre-ground can work too if it is stored properly. But fresh is better because those delicate fats do not stay stable forever once exposed to air. Use 1 to 2 tablespoons a day. Ground, not whole. Add it to a smoothie. Stir it into plain yogurt. Mix it into oatmeal. Add it to a dressing, even water if you do not mind the texture. Precision matters, because with nutrition, the body responds to what you absorb, not what you merely swallow. If that already makes sense, comment flow below, because we are only getting started. Now let us move to the second seed, because flaxseed may be the foundation, but it is not the whole system. The second seed is pumpkin seed. And pumpkin seed works through a completely different mechanism, which is exactly why it matters. Pumpkin seeds are rich in magnesium. That matters more than most people realize. Magnesium plays a major role in vascular smooth muscle relaxation. In simple terms, it helps blood vessels stay calmer, looser, less prone to excessive constriction. One reason magnesium is so important is because calcium tells muscle fibers to contract, while magnesium helps regulate that process. When magnesium is too low, contraction can dominate. Tightness increases. Vascular tone gets less forgiving. Blood flow becomes less efficient. Now think about how many adults walk around low in magnesium. Stress burns through it. Poor diet leaves gaps. Sleep problems make everything worse. So even if your body still wants to produce the right signals, the mechanical environment of the vessel may still be too tense to respond properly. This is why some people keep trying circulation boosters and never feel much. The signal is not the only issue. The vessel itself has to be in a state that can respond. Pumpkin seeds also bring zinc, and zinc matters because antioxidant defense matters. Nitric oxide is delicate. It can be neutralized by oxidative stress before it ever does its job properly. Zinc supports enzymes involved in controlling free radical damage. So here again, you are not just trying to make more nitric oxide, you are trying to create a better survival environment for it. That is the difference between incomplete support and intelligent support. Then comes sesame seed, another overlooked powerhouse. Sesame contains unique lignans, especially compounds studied for antioxidant effects and support for lipid balance. But here is why I like sesame in this conversation. It appears to support the body's own internal antioxidant systems, not just deliver antioxidants directly. That matters, because long-term vascular function depends on maintaining the body's built-in protection, not just dropping in occasional outside help. Sesame also contributes minerals that support structural integrity, because blood vessels are not just tubes, they are living tissues. They need flexibility, they need resilience, they need to maintain the balance between strength and elasticity. That is a big part of why some men feel tight in their system without even knowing how to describe it. The body loses smoothness, loses fluidity, loses that sense of relaxed, confident response. Then we add watermelon seeds. This is where the nitric oxide side becomes even more interesting. Watermelon seeds contain citrulline, and citrulline matters because it serves as a precursor in the pathway that leads toward arginine availability, which is central to nitric oxide production. This is one reason watermelon gets so much attention in blood flow conversations. But most people overlook the seeds. And that is a mistake. Because now we have another layer in the vessel opening sequence. Flaxseed helps support the endothelial environment. Pumpkin seed helps the relaxation side and antioxidant defense. Sesame supports oxidative balance and structural resilience. Watermelon seed helps support substrate availability in the nitric oxide pathway itself. Different seeds, different jobs, one coordinated effect. That is the hidden mechanism most people never hear explained clearly. Not one miracle seed, not one magic bullet. A stacked vascular strategy. I call it the dual phase vascular activation system. Phase 1. Support the signaling side. Nitric oxide precursors. Endothelial function. Blood vessel messaging. Phase 2. Protect the response side. Smooth muscle relaxation. Oxidative buffering. Mineral support. Structural integrity. When both phases are supported together, circulation has a better chance to feel smoother, more consistent, more natural. Now let us keep building. Sunflower seeds deserve a place here too. They are rich in vitamin E, one of the most important fat-soluble antioxidants for protecting cell membranes. Endothelial cells live and function through membrane integrity. When oxidative stress damages those membranes, performance drops. Nitric oxide signaling suffers. Vascular responsiveness suffers. Recovery suffers. So sunflower seeds help protect the actual surface where this whole process begins. And then there is celery seed. This one is less famous, but it is fascinating. Celery seed contains compounds that have been studied for their effects on vascular smooth muscle and tension regulation. What makes celery seed interesting is that it may help support a more relaxed vascular state, especially when the body is being pushed by stress chemistry in the wrong direction. That matters because many men are not just dealing with aging, they are dealing with chronic overactivation, stress, poor sleep, constant sympathetic drive, too much go, too much tension, too much constriction. In that state, even a decent nitric oxide signal may not fully translate into the relaxed, open vascular response you want. Celery seed helps complete the picture by addressing that constrictive side of the equation. So now look at the pattern. Flaxseed, endothelial support. Linens, ALA, pumpkin seed, magnesium, zinc, relaxation support. Sesame seed, linens, antioxidant system support. Watermelon seed, citrulline pathway support. Sunflower seed, vitamin E, membrane protection. Celery seed, smooth muscle balance, stress-related constriction support. This is not random. This is not old-fashioned folk advice. This is a layered circulatory support framework. And yes, the science matters. Research over the years has repeatedly pointed toward the importance of nitric oxide, endothelial health, oxidative stress control, omega-3 status, mineral balance, and antioxidant enzymes in cardiovascular function. That does not mean any one seed is a drug. It means the mechanisms are real, the pathways are real. And when you support real pathways consistently, the body often responds in ways you can feel. More warmth in the hands and feet, better exercise tolerance, better sense of physical readiness, less drag, less heaviness, more stable energy, better recovery after effort, better confidence in how your body responds under pressure. That is what men want, not hype, not false promises, not a 10-minute spike followed by disappointment. Real support, better physiology, better consistency. If this is connecting for you, type open in the comments, because now I want to give you the exact practical formula. Here is the simple daily protocol. Take 1 tablespoon of freshly ground flaxseed, add 1 tablespoon of raw pumpkin seeds, add 1 tablespoon of sunflower seeds, add 2 teaspoons of sesame seeds, add 2 teaspoons of roasted watermelon seeds, or ground if you prefer, add 1/4 to 1. Blend them into a coarse mix. Store it in an airtight glass container. Keep it in the fridge to protect the oils from oxidation. Use 1 to 2 tablespoons daily. Best timing, morning or early afternoon, with food, or mixed into a smoothie, plain yogurt, oatmeal, kefir, or a clean protein bowl. If you are using it before physical activity, take it consistently every day, rather than expecting 1 serving to act like a stimulant. This is not a caffeine trick. This is a vascular support habit. For men who want the most precise version, here it is. Morning. 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed, 1 tablespoon mixed seed blend, with breakfast, at least 5 days a week. Optional second use, another 1 tablespoon in the afternoon, especially on training days. Or on days when fatigue and circulation feel worse, hydration matters. Do not ignore that. Seeds bring fiber. Fiber needs water. So increase fluids properly. Not recklessly, just consistently. Now let us handle the objections, because this is where many people hesitate. First, how long before I feel anything? Some men notice subtle changes quickly, others need several weeks. That is normal. Why? Because you are not flipping one switch. You are supporting inflammatory balance, endothelial behavior, oxidative protection, membrane stability, mineral status, and nitric oxide pathways over time. Biology often rewards consistency, not impatience. Second, what if my digestion is sensitive? Start lower. Use half the amount for the first week, especially if your fiber intake has been low. Let the gut adapt, then increase gradually. Slow is fine. The goal is sustainable use, not forcing the body. Third, what about sodium? If you are using roasted or packaged seeds, check the label. Choose unsalted or lightly salted whenever possible. Do not take a clean vascular routine and bury it under unnecessary sodium. Fourth, can I just eat 1 seed and ignore the rest? You can. Flaxseed alone is still worth using. But the whole reason this method is stronger is because each seed supports a different bottleneck. One helps signaling. One helps relaxation. One helps antioxidant defense. One helps membrane protection. One helps stress-related constriction. The combination is what creates the advantage. Fifth, is more better? No. Precision beats excess. More is not always better. Stick to the range. 1 to 2 tablespoons total blend per day is enough for most people as a nutritional support strategy. This is about layering smart inputs, not overwhelming your system. And finally, is this a replacement for medical care? No, and it should not be treated that way. If you have cardiovascular disease, blood pressure issues, medication concerns, digestive conditions, or any serious health symptoms, speak with your physician or pharmacist before changing your routine. This is nutritional support, not a substitute for diagnosis or treatment. But here is the bigger truth. Most men do not need another short-term trick. They need to stop ignoring the infrastructure of performance. Blood flow is infrastructure. Endothelial health is infrastructure. Mitochondrial energy depends on delivery. Muscle endurance depends on delivery. Brain sharpness depends on delivery. Recovery depends on delivery. Confidence depends on the body responding when you need it to respond. And that is why this tiny seed story matters so much. Because it is not really about one seed. It is about understanding the hidden cause behind why the body starts to feel slower, weaker, less cooperative. It is about realizing that not all decline is inevitable. Not because age does nothing, but because age is often amplified by neglected physiology. And when you start supporting that physiology the right way, things can begin to shift. More openness in the vessels, better oxygen delivery, better smooth muscle response, better resilience against oxidative stress, better cellular energy support, better day-to-day stability, better confidence in your own body. That is the transformation, not fake stimulation, not nervous overdrive, not desperation, but better vascular function, better recovery, better physical readiness, better long-term performance. I am Dr. Clara Vance, and if you want to give your body a real chance to function better from the inside out, start with the tiny seeds most people ignore. Use them precisely, use them consistently, respect the mechanism, respect the timing, respect the biology. Comment tiny seed below if you are ready to try the formula. Share this with a man who needs to hear it. And remember this, sometimes the biggest shift in how you feel does not begin with something dramatic. It begins with something small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, but powerful enough to help your blood vessels remember how to open.